Well, good afternoon. This is the promised tutorials on those crafts that we gave out this past Sunday during the Advent drive-thru. Super successful event. We had like over 200 cars came. So you picked up supplies to do these great crafts. And you know, one of the things, I've been here long enough now, I've been here 13 years now. Matter of fact, I'm starting my 14th year. Today is the first day of my 14th year here at Christ Lutheran. Wow. And I think you know some of the things I'm passionate about. I got passion for New York sports teams. I'm passionate about reading and thinking big things. I love to hike. But something that a lot of people don't know is that really I'm passionate about crafting. Are you really? I am. It's one of the first things that
I didn't know that.
That attracted Thelma to me, you know, pretty right on and straight out. And so I have brought I always keep a traveling craft bag ready to go. And I like it to be seasonal, of course. And this is my Mickey and Minnie traveling bag. So I want to get my supplies out just to begin with.
Things we didn't know about Ralph, you guys.
Here we go. So, you know, I've always got lots of different types of brushes. You never know when you're gonna, you know.
Wow, they look well used.
What brush you need. Different sorts of paints and other flat brushes. We may be using those today. I have European watercolors. I prefer these over the American style.
Oh, wow.
Those are really good. Of course, it goes without saying, I have at all times with me both a mini glue gun and that's, I believe, the regular size glue gun.
I was going to say, is that the mini?
No.
Just see the big one.
That's the regular size. And then the mini glue gun. Oh. And I keep different types of glue sticks with me, including sparkle sticks. Oh, the sparkle glue. Yeah, I like to use that.
I can see you like sparkle glue. Right?
Absolutely. There are markers here, lots of different sorts of twine. You know, you can do amazing things with twine.
Can you really?
You can.
Wow.
It's really, really exciting.
Maybe during Lent you can do something with twine for us.
Different kinds of markers. I have these. Pencils, absolutely. Of course, you have to have a ruler. All good crafters have a ruler with them at all times.
A pink one.
And a pink one, absolutely. And you're not a crafter if you don't have...
Ooh, Mod Podge.
Mod Podge, absolutely. Mod Podge, that's an essential. And then just a couple of things to really get me into the holiday crafting season. I have my crafting apron that I like to wear. Absolutely. And I should say that on this apron, I like the apron with the large pockets in the front. I keep a number of items in there. But one of the things that I keep in my large is I keep my phone, because there's a number of crafting apps I like to refer to occasionally. And my granddaughters, Mia and Lucy, will call me occasionally with questions they have. They both love to craft. I think they've gotten that from their papa, from their babu. So I keep I keep it. So my holiday themed, what would you call this? Apron. And look at this. For the holidays, I have my matching mug.
Wow.
Absolutely, a matching mug. And, you know, because it's this season, hot cocoa, and, you know, with either whipped cream or the small marshmallows. I have to tell you a little secret. Sometimes I like to put both marshmallows and whipped cream in my cocoa mug. So I always keep that. So we're gonna start out here, and one of the things, you know, I'm going to explain some very important basics, and you'll show then actually how it works. The first craft that we're going to look at was the star, and you received a bag like this with the materials in there, and you know, in the end it'll look something like this. You can put that on the top of your tree or in a window. It works in a lot of different ways. Just a couple of things that I wanted to point out. Included in your supply bag, there was a little jar, and that's just a lift-up cover. I thought it was a screw. I was going to explain righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but this is just a lift-up, okay?
And hope it doesn't splat.
But
then you've got an apron on.
I'm going to let you do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but what I really wanted to share was, crafters are often wondering, because it's traditional with crafting that you end up with a lot of these Ziploc bags. I want you to be sure to know these can be reused. These are reusable. No. I've discovered that with a bead of glue along the top, if you save enough of these, and I have saved, I actually glue together an infield covering for the Tacoma Rainiers, for their infield to keep it dry during rainouts. It takes about 100,000 bags to do that. You can imagine the excitement when I dropped off my own homemade crafted infield covering.
You do craft a lot.
So absolutely. So Lenny, I'm going to let you take it away and kind of show what's going on with this.
Well, I really think you should do it. Okay. But I'd be happy to kind of give you a few pointers.
There you go.
So I opened your paint for you. I'm going to set it on there in case you spill.
Yes.
Let's turn the star so it's going the right way. That's the top, so put it up there.
Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. There you go.
Okay. And then you need to use that. That's a stencil, Ralph.
A stencil,
Have you
yes.
worked with
Yeah,
stencils?
I have worked
good.
Extensively.
So that goes on there.
So I'm peeling this off.
Yes,
is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, let's see if
see if you can get that.
So I'm gonna take my glasses off
because
they're in my way.
That will help you a little bit.
Oh, look at that. Okay, here we go. Oh, very nice. Boy, that came off excellently. And just
now that's gonna go on, and you want to center it now, Ralph.
Okay. Okay. Center that. Is it better straight or maybe a little bit of an angle? Or?
I'm more of a straight person, but you can do however you tend to like things.
The artist in me says just a little bit off center. And there you go. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Very nice. Okay.
Now you need to peel the top layer back off.
Okay.
Because remember, that's a stencil. So you gotta get to the stencil now. That was just sticking it down.
Okay, so now.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm sure you knew that.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it went without. Whoops. Let's see. Is that on there? Nope. Okay, so let's see here. I'm having an issue here with that.
Yeah, did you push it down really good, you know?
Okay, well, let's just do that a little bit better here. Okay. Now, let me check my phone.
Oh, yeah, see if you've heard.
No, nothing for Mia or Lucy at this point, okay? So, and you're saying this should peel off, huh?
And leave the underlayer stencil.
Ooh, okay. Oh, I think. Oh, okay. Here we go.
There you go.
Here we go.
Now be careful. You want to keep the blue part down and go slow because, you don't want that blue to come with it. So you have to kind of use both hands there, Ralph.
I see.
Yep.
I see what we're talking about. Okay.
So make sure when you're pulling, you go nice and slow and keep the blue down.
You know, speed has always been an enemy to real crafters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some more than others, though.
We're artists.
You're kind of getting some blue here, Ralph. I want to just make sure you catch that.
Okay, thank you. I see that. Okay, there we go.
Boy.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, nice. Nice and slow.
Nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race, they say.
Yes, and I see that.
Yep. Lots of patience for crafters, you know.
Here we go.
Which I know you have tons of patience.
Yeah,
so,
there we go. Wow.
And then you just kind of want to make sure everything is, yeah.
No bubbles underneath it.
Correct, because paint will seep under there, you know.
Absolutely.
So once you've done that, you're just this is gonna be your paintbrush. I know you have fancy ones, but
I do.
We kind of are just going simple here.
I'm just gonna, right off the top, I like to use the top because I'm a big believer in not wasting anything. Everything.
Well, let's see how much you can get out of there. Yep.
Let's see.
And then dab. Don't brush, dab.
I wouldn't have expected that.
Okay, well, look, you learn something new every day.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm dabbing.
Yep.
You want to put just the right amount of pressure on your dab. It's I found that, you know, guys who like to go to the gym like myself, we tend to dab a little too hard.
I bet. Yes.
So just go gentle on the dab.
Watch the dab.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna one more time. I'm gonna
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay.
Hopefully you don't get any of that paint on your apron because your apron's pretty clean.
This actually is. This is an apron I purchased for Thelma, In the UK, which is that's the United Kingdom.
Oh,
England,
is that what that stands for?
That is.
Oh,
that's
okay.
England. I believe I purchased this in Cambridge, at Cambridge University for her.
Okay.
So, and now I'll be going into the, oh, there'll be so much here. Here we go. I'm sure glad that you've given me a chance to do this, to share my, you know, all these years I've kind of kept my passion to myself. And, you know, so I'm feeling really good that people, I think people are getting to know me now. And,
right.
And
kind of let the cat out of the bag
there,
this year.
There you go. If you want to say it that way, yeah. That's, okay. So I have dabbed.
Yep. You have dabbed successfully.
So, okay.
So then I would encourage you to let that dry for a little bit, because if you pull it up now, you're likely going to streak.
I understand.
And you don't want to streak that paint. So I would leave it for a bit till the paint starts to dry, and then you're going to lift it off. And Ralph, when you're done, hopefully it will look like this.
Silent Night.
Yes.
Wow, that's...
We're going to cross our fingers that that's what happens.
Now, that would be a great name for a song, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Silent Night.
Maybe you should put some thought into that.
That is really nice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So, we're going to move that aside, and you can pull those candy canes over, Ralph.
Okay, candy canes. The candy cane wreath.
Yes.
Now I have to tell you a story behind my development of the candy cane wreath. For years, I used to love to do evergreen wreaths, and I developed many different ways of doing it. But
I'm learning so much about you today.
One of the things you'll notice about the evergreen wreath, as the season goes on, needles begin to fall, gets a little messy, and then you're not going to believe this. A couple of years ago, I had a beautiful evergreen wreath in my home above our fireplace. I discovered there's a squirrel family living inside my Advent wreath, my evergreen wreath.
In the house.
Inside the house, yes.
I bet Thelma loved that.
And it explains why I have another tutorial, one of my craft tutorials, how to eliminate unwanted members of the weasel family from your home. That was connected to that incident of the squirrel family living inside our wreath. So I came up with an alternative way, because as you can say, this isn't the sort of wreath a squirrel family is going to live inside. So, Lenny, why don't you tell us a little bit about this wreath?
Yeah, so my Girl Scouts did some of these last year, so they think it's a pretty easy one. I think you could probably handle it. You really just need a glue gun, which they're not plugged in right now, so we're just going to kind of pretend, Ralph. But basically, it's hearts. Love came down at Christmas, isn't that perfect? And you're basically going to put a little bit of glue right here. Are we recommending the mini or the regular size? Probably the regular size.
Regular size glue.
Yeah, I think you're right. Glue on this.
I think you're right.
Yes. So you want a little bit of glue here, and then they just they kiss. Look. And then you want a little dab of glue there so that you can bring it together and make a heart.
Here you go, hearts. Yes.
And once you've made all your hearts, you then you make a heart. Okay. And I'll make a heart. Okay. And then we would want to lay a line of glue here, and they would go all the way around until you're done. Okay, guys, see that?
All the way around.
Okay?
Yep.
So they have all been glued together all the way around, and then I'm going to show you the back. It's kind of ugly, but there's going to be this kind of hole in the middle, and that's okay. I sometimes like to put a piece of hard paper, cut a circle out, and kind of glue it there just to give it a foundation in the center.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
We just put a bunch of extra glue in a circle around to kind of hold it together. But then once you're done, you just want something in the front. So I used a foam snowflake. If you glue that on, and then you can glue another snowflake right over the top of it.
Wow.
Look at that. Isn't that fun, you guys? So basically, all you need is a glue gun. And then the ribbon, we just tied on, and we glued it a little bit here, just to hold it together.
A pocket, a ribbon pocket.
A ribbon pocket, Ralph says, yes.
We like to call
that. That's good terminology, yes.
Ribbon pocket, yes.
So, there you go. There's the snowflake. So.
Okay, excellent.
Well, Ralph, I would love to hang out, but I got lots of work to do today. Okay. So I got to get on my way here. I'm gonna let Sarah come in and
explain.
do one
yes.
craft with you. Sarah,
You bet,
if you want to come
absolutely.
into the Master Crafters workshop here.
Come and join me here, Sarah.
With our matching pants.
So yes, there you go. So Sarah, this is the ribbon cross.
Yeah, and I actually think, because you're the master crafter, maybe you should show me how to do it.
Let me tell you a little background story of the ribbon cross. You know, I'm not sure if you've had this experience. I've had this many times. You wake up in the morning, and what's my first thought? I think I'll build a piece of furniture today. Perhaps a new roll-top desk, maybe an armoire, something like that. But when you get done doing that, you have all these little pieces of wood that are left. What do you do with wood? And then, of course, there's the leftover ribbon. You know, it started. All my projects with ribbons. It started that we had a shoe box of leftover ribbon. Well, then the box wasn't big enough. And then there was a drawer full of ribbon. Next, I had the ribbon closet. And then I had finally a ribbon room, and now we rent space, and we have a rental space for our leftover ribbons, because there's no end to what you can do with ribbons. So I had lots of ribbon, and I had all these pieces of wood, and I think they've come together in just a perfect way in the ribbon bow cross.
It's actually really touching.
So it is a touching story. So let's take a look at our supplies that we were given here. Once again, wood left over from my furniture building.
We asked Dale Multeen actually to cut these. We should have asked you.
You know, and
I didn't realize.
And it smells good. This is undoubtedly a very expensive teak, or perhaps an exotic wood, or maybe it's just cedar. But still, this is really a wonderful piece of wood. And the ribbon that we'll be using is this a really nice piece of ribbon here.
Do you remember what that's from? Did you use that in a certain craft?
You know, I've done a lot of crafts in my time, and I'm not as young as I used to be. I start losing track of all the different crafts. I should also, a little crafting side story I like to tell about the glue gun. I discovered an interesting use of my glue gun a number of years ago. When I would when I would craft, and Lucy was with me, our granddaughter Lucy, and who calls me Papa. You know, she'd always be around my feet, and it was always like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with her? I discovered an interesting thing, that I could put a good dab of glue on a wall and stick her on the wall behind me, and she watched me then. I believe her love of crafting was born as she watched me from her glue gun stuck on the wall position. And so that's an interesting use with young children. You want to make sure always that when you do that, you glue them back to the wall, not front to the wall. What works much better, back to the wall, and then they get to watch. It's a very exciting thing. Okay.
I was thinking you were going to say you used it as a leash for her, but I don't know that.
Okay. So Sarah, how's this working then?
What I did is I started with it in the back.
Yes.
And then I twisted it in the front.
Okay.
To make the cross.
So you're going to maybe in the back. Okay. So this will be the front of my cross.
Well, actually, so I went like that. Can I show you real quick?
Absolutely.
I don't describe it very well. So you want this to be the front?
Sure.
So I actually did it like this.
Okay. So
like I'm wrapping a present.
Okay.
And then I twisted it in the front where I want it, and I tie it in the back.
So
wherever you want the cross to be, you may want it to be a little bit farther up.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little further up, like
with your craft,
there you
your
go.
Artistic.
Well, and with my theological experience,
right.
The way ancient crosses would have looked. I want it to be realistic, okay? And then to the back, and did you tie that off then in the back?
And you can, yes, I did, and you can do whatever kind of knot you want.
Okay.
If you have a special knot that you like to use, I was thinking maybe
I'll just use a standard square knot in the back, okay? Nothing fancy, just a square knot. There you go. Oh, that's a beauty there. Okay,
perfect.
Excellent. And that can just, the extra ribbon can just be tucked in.
Yes,
that'll be the back, okay?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And that's it. Okay. And then I just put the bow on.
So there's my cross, okay? And then the bow
Yes.
would be stuck.
Look at that artistic ability. Yeah.
Would be right there.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I see is you'll always have to watch. The ribbon sometimes folds on itself. I like to get the full width of the ribbon showing. Okay. So yeah, there you go. Full width of the ribbon. There you go.
And you'll appreciate this. Mine keeps coming off because I just taped it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What could you use?
I would use. For a project like this, I would go with my smaller
Good idea.
glue gun.
I knew you. I knew you would know.
There you go, and get that on there.
Yeah.
And that is not only a beautiful, not only is it beautiful craft-wise, but it tells a theological story. God's great gift, with the bow reminding us of God's great gift of Jesus.
This is your next sermon.
Absolutely. So, so we've shown you. So we've 3 crafts. Are we thinking? What are we thinking about our star
I
here?
think maybe you should pull it up now. Yeah.
So let's
zoom in a little bit. And
let's give this a try.
Make some
Okay.
room here.
Let's see what we have here. Okay. So I'm just.
I would lay it down.
Okay. Of course.
Just my thought.
Yeah.
No.
And then once again, we want to go slow on this. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Well, friends.
Okay. Gotta pull another piece there.
Okay.
There's just one more piece to still pull, I think, Ralph.
Okay. There's probably 2 pieces, I think, is what you're saying.
And I do just have a little suggestion. If you're just watching this and haven't done it, I'm sure Ralph meant to suggest this and just got so caught up in the moment that he forgot. But what I've heard is that you start really lightly with the sponge, so you dip it in the paint and you even get some of the paint off, and then you do a really light sponge over the first one to kind of press it down. So I know you meant to do that. We just forgot. Yeah, and then you go back over it. So
the fine look that this one demonstrates versus my rougher one becomes a reminder of that first silent night and the hard things that were going on in the Roman world. And this sort of communicates. I think it communicates.
The whole point, yes.
Caesar Augustus, a lot of hard things. It wasn't a perfect silent night. It was a silent night. And I think the way I've done this communicates that message.
You do want to see the perfect one done by Betsy Miller. Okay. Here it is.
Yeah.
Or this one.
Yeah. Betsy, I'll just say to you, nobody likes a craft show off. Okay, we all know that. So I think that's about it. It's been great fun joining you. And now that you know this, please, when you're having crafting parties, please invite me. I would love to come and share my expertise. And just reusing of materials. So please, have a blessed Advent. I know this has been a blessing for my Advent already, and I'll look forward to, I'd like to say I look forward to seeing you, but I'll look forward to you seeing me. This evening, actually, Tuesday, this evening, we're having our first Advent Holden Vesper service. So come and join us at 7:30 this evening. And thanks so much for joining us.